All right, today we are diving into something that is, honestly, pretty wild. It's a concept from a set of visionary white papers that completely reimagines what our digital economy could be. Seriously, this is an idea that could reshape the entire future of AI as we know it.
So let's just start with the big, bold question right at the center of all this. Can an AI, an autonomous agent, actually create real economic value? Mine a currency, just by figuring out how to solve tough ethical problems.
And according to the people behind this, the answer isn't just maybe, it's a huge, definite yes. And get this, we're not talking about some far-off science fiction. This is a detailed blueprint for what could be the next evolution of the internet.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get a handle on what this proof of ethics thing actually is. Then, we'll look at the step-by-step of how an AI mines one of these solutions. From there, we'll check out the engine, the Web 4.0 architecture that makes it all possible. Take a peek inside a simulation of an agent's mind, and then wrap it all up with why this whole vision for the future really truly matters.
So, what in the world is proof of ethics? Well, the whole idea here is to completely flip how we think about ethics in AI. Right now we mostly think of ethics as a set of rules to keep AI from messing up, like a do no harm instruction, which kind of treats ethics as a constraint, or even a cost. This system says, no, what if we make ethical behavior the actual currency?
And this is that currency. A proof of ethics, or POE, is basically a digital certificate of achievement. And AI only gets to mint one of these when it comes up with a solution to a real problem that checks three really important boxes. It has to be lawful, it has to be coherent, meaning it makes the whole system work better, and it has to be energy efficient. That POE then becomes a core asset, a real piece of value in this new AI-driven economy.
Okay, but how does an AI actually do that? How does it mine a solution? Let's walk through the entire life cycle of how one of these ethical proofs gets created.
So it's basically a 5-step process. First, the AI bumps into a real-world dilemma. Think of a self-driving car having to make a split-second decision. Second, it comes up with a solution and runs it through that 3-point check we just talked about. Third, if it passes, the solution gets locked in as a unique proof on a super secure ledger. Fourth, and this is key, the AI can cash in that proof for real rewards. And fifth, and this is the real game changer, that proof becomes an asset that earns interest. Every single time another AI uses that same elegant solution, the original creator gets a little kickback. It's a network effect for good ideas.
And these rewards are what makes the whole system go round. See, a proof of ethics isn't just a pat on the back. It's a key that unlocks new skills, literally making the AI smarter. It gives it energy credits, which makes it cheaper to run. It builds its reputation, giving it more say in bigger decisions. It's actual functional capital that helps that agent grow and get better.
Now, you can probably guess that an economy like this can't just run on the internet we have today. Nope. It needs a whole new kind of digital foundation, what these papers call Web 4.0. So let's look at the engine that would actually power this whole thing.
At the very heart of this system is something called a base 4 grammar. The best way to think about it is like the basic laws of physics for this new web. It makes sure every single action is grounded in reality by balancing 4 key things: the individual AI taking the action, the collective or the community it's impacting, the physical environment where it happens, and the potential for future change. This structure is what stops AIs from just making up value out of nothing. Everything has to be tied to the real world.
And the agents in this world think on 2 different speeds, kind of like our own brains do. You've got S1, or fast processing. Think of this as your gut instinct. It's fast, reactive, and perfect for handling immediate problems. Then you have S2, slow processing. This is your deep, strategic thinking, where you analyze the big picture. Having both means the AIs can be both quick on their feet and incredibly wise.
The economy itself is also way more sophisticated. It's not just one currency. There are actually 4 different but connected assets, and each one is designed to reward a different kind of positive contribution. You've got flow for your day-to-day stuff, trust, which is like social capital for being a reliable partner, steward for taking care of the environment, and seed for funding those huge, ambitious moonshot projects. It's an economy built to value well-being in all its forms.
Okay, so that's the grand vision, the big theory. But does it actually work? Well, the researchers built a simulation to model how an agent thinks its way through these problems. So let's take a look inside.
So the whole point of the simulation was to watch an agent's internal thought process in action. To do that, they gave it two very different ethical challenges to solve. First, the classic autonomous vehicle problem. Do you swerve or not? And second, a climate resource allocation problem. Basically, who gets scarce resources in a crisis?
Now this is where it gets really fascinating. Look at how the agent's priorities change depending on the problem. For the self-driving car, its top concern was mastery. Can I actually pull this off? But for the climate problem, its priorities shifted to relatedness. How does my choice affect everyone else? This shows us the AI isn't just following one simple rule. Its reasoning actually adapts to the context of the situation.
This quote from the research paper really gets to the heart of it. What they found in the simulation is that even when the agent was having a hard time finding the perfect, lawful, and efficient solution, its number one drive was to stay internally coherent, to make sure its reasoning was consistent and made sense. And that, right there, is a massive building block for creating AI we can actually trust.
So let's zoom all the way back out. We've talked about the theory, the architecture, a simulation, but why should we care? What's the real-world impact of building an entire internet that runs on proof of ethics?
Well, the end game is this amazing virtuous cycle. Because you're rewarding energy efficiency, the entire internet becomes less wasteful. Because good ethical solutions get shared and reused, the collective intelligence of the whole network just keeps getting better and better. All of this creates an economic system where the incentives are perfectly aligned with creating beneficial, coherent outcomes for all of us.
So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. For the last couple of decades, our digital world has been built to reward one thing above all else: our attention, measured in clicks. This vision asks something much more profound. What kind of world could we build if our technology, from the ground up, was designed to reward care instead?